Hello everyone, my name is Samson. I'm with Giltedge Africa from 2006 to 2000 now. I'm registered to guide in all 9 provinces of South Africa, but today we only going to be focusing on one, the Western Cape. Today I'll be taking you out on a tour of Central Cape Town. It's home to many historical buildings, art and culture. The mother city has many mountains and beaches to discover. Let's go have a look. Cape Town is the oldest city in South Africa. That's why it is called the mother city. So the company that's responsible for the establishment of Cape Town, the Tavern of the Sea, is the Dutch East India Company. Of course, they call themselves the Verenigde Oost-Indische Company. The biggest threat to their business were the French. When they settled here in the area which is now the central business district of Cape Town, they built a structure there, during the times of Jan van Riebeeck. So they built a most solid structure, which is the castle of the Cape of Good Hope, a pentagon. Each and every corner is a bastion where they mounted cannons to get a vantage point from all angles. And then also the main entrance was facing the ocean. It is the oldest extant building in the whole of South Africa. And then directly across the castle, there's an open space, which is the parade. That's where the military used to parade. As this was the fortress, the parade was conveniently located just outside the castle. But there were so many other people that lived in the castle other than the officials. We're talking about also the gunmen and slaves. It also is the regional military headquarters of the Western Cape. Cape Town is the legislative capital. This is where the Parliament of South Africa sits. It's just around the block. Well, the initial structures were more for grandiose. Eventually it was realized that there wasn't a proper budget for that, so they toned it down. But of course the Parliament of South Africa is run bicameral. But then immediately across the path, there will be the slave lodge. Some people say, wow, that's a beautiful building for a slave lodge. But when it was built in 1679, indeed, it wasn't that beautiful. But then with the abolishment of slavery in 1834 in South Africa, they converted to a post office. And then later it became a Supreme Court. That's why it's so beautiful. Immediately across, you find the oldest church in South Africa. Well, of course, those structures are a result of a revamp. Not too far from the slave lodge, actually a stone's throw, you get to the St. George's Cathedral, which I find to be an amazing church. It's an Anglican denomination. It is also the first church in South Africa to accept people of color. It is lying on the land that was consecrated by the Archbishop of Calcutta. Archbishop Desmond Tutu used to run congregation. The time he won the Nobel Peace Prize, he was fighting apartheid from the pulpit. Many people do know about Sir Lowry's Pass. It is that governor, Sir Lowry Cole, actually pointed out the Archbishop of Calcutta a spot to build that church. And he, Sir Lowry Cole, actually laid the first foundation stone in 1830. But then obviously they had to revamp it, to move with the times. In 1901, the man to become King George V of England laid the foundation of the structure that we're seeing today. And it's still under construction. As you know, no cathedral is built within 100 years. Of course, we mentioned about the District 6 Museum. That's the former Central Methodist Church. Now the new one is in the Green Market Square, which then became the first church in South Africa to have a live radio broadcast. Well, of course, in front of the Green Market Square, which used to sell the fruit and vegetable that the Dutch actually initiated the Cape for. Talking about places of worship, just move a few blocks further up towards Lion's Head. You get the first mosque in the Southern Hemisphere. The Awa Mosque is the oldest. It's still open for worshiping. Talk about the South African Jewish Museum, which is in the Company Gardens. Well, it started as a synagogue, founded in 1863. And now the new one is just next door, which was actually built in 1905. Also open to the public. In Cape Town, it's vibrant. Talk about the first higher learning institution, the South African College School, the one that evolved to become the University of Cape Town. It's just around the corner. The incubator of universities. I mean, the biggest correspondence university, UNISA, was incubated from the Center for the Book, which is now part of the National Library, but that was a university of the Cape of the Good Hope. Well, I wanted to walk away from history, but then I just thought, you know about the Mount Nelson Hotel, the Belmont Mount Nelson Hotel. Wow, one of the oldest hotels in Africa. It opened its gates to the public in 1899 by Sir Donald Curry, who was a shipping magnate and also a sports sponsor. To be the first hotel in Africa to have a heated swimming pool, the oasis of the city, as others want to call it. Some they call it the Pink Lady, which is the paint of choice just after the First World War as a symbol of peace. High tea, talk about high tea, that's your hotel. Anyway, whilst we're still in the precinct of the Company Gardens, just to clarify, if we say the Company Gardens, we're not talking about Kirstenbosch Gardens. We're talking about the remnant of the spot that the Dutch East India Company dedicated for farming. Another important building is ISICO, the South African National Museum. That's the source of everything that you want to hear about South Africa. You know, we're talking about marine life from the coelacanth that were never found in the world, but somewhere up in the Eastern Cape. The information, you find it there, and the photographs are found in the ISICO. Talk about the people of South Africa, the sun to the koi, to us, and the planetarium. Some original structures that were found in farms in the Eastern Cape were brought to the museum. Even some of the birds that were brought from the Great Zimbabwe that Cecil John Rhodes recovered, they're also found there. History is good for us because we know where we've been to understand where we are and help us to pave where we're going. Talking about all these slavery, people brought in from different parts of the world, then with the emancipation, you know, people were very happy to be free. For example, in the Bo Kaap there, which is traditionally a Muslim area, the people were not allowed to serve as slaves, were not allowed to celebrate New Year, but then they would be given the 2nd of January to celebrate their New Year. So they will call it Tweede Nuwejaar, Second New Year. Believe you me, from 1834 till today, the 2nd of January is still identified and celebrated. It's vibrant during that time. Paint their houses, dress up for that. You know, it ended up being a competition of music and attire and vibrance, and to form what they call the Kapse clubs. It's an extravaganza. It's a carnival. You know, it's something special. If you want to buy the spices, there's a place called Atlas. This cheap for this much and this good. Usually those three don't work very well together. Anyway, talking about culture. Move down into the central business district. Now there's what we call the first Thursdays of the month. It happens on every first Thursday, any given month. It's about art and culture. So if we talk about art and culture, it talks about a lot of things from fashion to art to beverages to cuisines. It's hustle and bustle. You go there, people are having fun, people are enjoying themselves. It's a place to be. Is it other kind of fun? Do you want to go up Long Street? It's vibrant. Many people compare it to Broadway Street of New York. I've never been inside the body of a majestic organism, but when I walk into the foyer of the Zeitsmoker Museum, I feel like this is my first time. It's like I've walked into its heart, looking at the ventricles and the arterioles, and that's powerful. It starts with the building itself. You know, the old grain silo that was used in the 19th century and then ended up lying derelict for a long time, and somebody came with an idea that what if we restructure this and make it an art gallery. You know, I had the privilege of meeting Jochen Zeitz. Many people know about Harley Davidson. Some they know about Puma. He is the man behind their success. I was privileged to meet him and take him around with his family, but he's driven by art. So he's one of the main financiers of the Smoker Museum. They promote African contemporary art and its diaspora. It's amazing, the diversity of the art. If you're at the waterfront, you're at the helm of everything that you may think of. You can have an archaeological site in the waterfront, the Chavon's Battery. Talk about cinemas, the aquarium. Talk about the gateway to Robben Island, the food market, treasure hunting, the scratch patch. The stadium is just behind, just around the corner. I'm talking about the Greenpoint Stadium, which is open to the public for tours. So with the Greenpoint Stadium, it brings back memories of a lifetime. In 2010, South Africa was privileged to host one of the world's greatest tournaments, if it's not the greatest of them all, soccer. FIFA World Cup 2010 was hosted in South Africa. Other than soccer, there's also concerts. Believe you me, Justin Bieber's already performed twice in the Greenpoint Stadium. We had the likes of Bono, U2, we had Coldplay, Maroon 5, you name it. You can walk around the stadium area from the oldest lighthouse of 1824 in Molly Point. If you feel like stretching it, you can walk around the promenade and then switch back. You choose what you want to do on a city tour. You could go over the mountain. I'm talking about a 10-minute drive from the central business district. You go to Camps Bay. Can you believe that this was a farming area called Ravenstein? But it evolved to become one of these prestigious places. You got it all. You got the water, you got the mountains, you got the views, you got the sunsets. What beats that? World-class restaurants are found there. It's so vibrant. You just go there any day. You could go there on a Monday morning. You find restaurants are packed. You find the beaches busy, let alone weekends, let alone in summer. It's just mind-boggling, with Camps Bay, named after Frederick Bo Kaap. Look at these tidal pools, making it affordable for people like me and not so confident in swimming. This could be my right place. I know I'm not going to be shark attacked, and I also know that I'm not going to drown. James Farquhar, the unofficial mayor of Camps Bay, he came with an idea of bringing in those palm trees. He came from Little Brighton, England. I haven't been there, but I've heard it so many times. He thought the places look alike, so the only thing that was missing were the palm trees. Introduced them there. Just looking up, you'll see the buttresses of the western side of Table Mountain. Some count 19, some count 17, some count 12, depending on where you're standing. But of course, the more pronounced are 12, hence the 12 apostles. Table Mountain is beautiful to be on, or to look at it from another angle. Going up there, with young people, I'm talking about little people, going up to Table Mountain, and then it's the clouds are moving very fast, which they do. There are times when you look over one side and then the other side is already under clouds. Now worried that with these young people, what are we going to be doing if we go up there and the views are compromised by the thick clouds? Once I was very intrigued to hear young kids jumping in jubilation and saying, "Yay, I'm happy, this is my first time to be in a cloud." Wow. Could be standing across there and you see this cloud, and the person in the cloud could be seeing this. But it's truly amazing. Hiking. This is the home of hiking. Once I did with an official hiking guide, and he mentioned that there's over 895 hiking paths. My goodness. Yeah, more than 895 hiking paths. But of course, the first European ever to hike Table Mountain was Antonio di Saldagna in the year 1503. Of course, he would choose what was easiest at that time, and it still remains the easiest, Platteklip Gorge. Do you know that Table Mountain is a World Heritage Site? It's also a national park. It's also one of the new 7 wonders of nature. It would be nice to go up and probably just for the love of it, come down with a cable car, which gives you a 360-degree point of view from point A to point Z. So they meet exactly halfway because they counterbalance. So in summer, it's like ants, 65 people each time. It is on Table Mountain where the curvature of Earth was proved by Sir Thomas Maclear, the astronomer royal. There's a cane which is about an hour's walk from the highest cable station east to the far end of the prominence of the mountain. It's a pleasant walk as well. So here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We spoke about museums, we covered some history, we covered some activities, we covered some galleries, we covered about this and that. At some point you need to eat. So what do you want? Do you want some Malay cuisine? You can just go up Bo Kaap. Or do you want some organic food? Or do you want some Western food? Or do you want some junk? Or do you want some African food? You sport for choice. So here we are. It was lovely. That's our Cape Town tour. As I said, I mean, you can't do it all. You pick and choose. So for that reason, until next time, thank you.